there's like an elephant on it, and that catch my attention because it's like eggs. Why the fuck is there an elephant on eggs? Why is there an elephant on eggs? It was really strange. Hi, my name is Awa and I make videos about self-discovery. And today we're going to talk about synchronicity. So I'm going to give an example from something that happened to me like a few days ago, okay? So I was trying to make a video and then I didn't know what to talk about. So I ended up watching a bunch of random videos and then I ended up going on Amazon looking at books. And then I found a book who was called something Modern Age. And then in my mind, for some reason, I wanted to make a video about synchronicity because I know somebody asked me about it. And then I YouTube the book, and then the first video about it was from a channel called Synchronicity. And when I clicked on the channel, like the guy literally repeated synchronicity like 5 times at first. And then after that, like the day after, I asked someone, and then he's like, "Yo, I think you should do a video about synchronicity." And then I was like, "Oh wow, that's a recurring event." And it's something that if it's just me, I could have a meaning behind it because like I hadn't thought about it. But for someone else, it could just be like it's a coincidence. It's something that's just happening randomly. But that's just, does that make sense? My understanding of synchronicity is more like it's a set of events that have a meaningful understanding for the person who's experiencing it. There is coincidence and synchronicities. The coincidence is like two events happening at the same time, or an event happening at the same time that is just out of the norm. So someone could have a bunch of coincidences and then not have any meaning behind it, and it would just then be coincidence. But if you put a meaning behind it, or if you're thinking about something, for example, and all of a sudden somebody comes to you and talks to you about it, like even if I tell you my stories of synchronicity, it doesn't matter because it will only be synchronicity based on my point of view. So everybody has their own synchronicities. You have a meaning behind it, and your meaning is based on your perspective and your way of seeing things and what you're focusing on. So for example, if you're focusing on for example, you really like flowers and you're focusing on like a specific type of flower, and then all of a sudden like somebody comes and gives you those flowers. For me, I'll just be like, "Oh, thank you for giving me those flowers." But for you, it's like, "Wow, I was thinking about those flowers," because it's something that was personal to you. It's something that you can attach a specific meaning to it. Because some people will like experience synchronicities and some people won't. It's just based on what you're trying to do. It's like if all of a sudden I'm aware of it now and I understand that synchronicity is something that happens and I want to attract it more, then I'm gonna start paying attention to the small things. Like that's a weird thing. You can't focus on it because if you focus on it, then it creates a type of lack. So then it's not gonna happen. There's no usefulness in it. It's just sometimes it's reassuring. So like during the summer, I was reading a book. I was reading a book called Universe Got Your Back, and then she was like asking the universe to give her a sign of the book, of like a sign of like the house, like when she finds the house, a sign that makes her realize that okay, this is the house now, so she can feel more comfortable about it and more sure and like okay with the situation, right? So then she decided that she wanted to have like an owl. She wanted to just see an owl. Okay, so then she kept on like looking, and then the owl was in her mind, but that's it. It was just like she wasn't focusing on it too much. She was just like, when I see the owl, I'll know that's the right thing to do, right? And then I'll feel it. And then she kept on looking around, and then one day she went to like a random house that she wasn't even planning to go to, and then like as soon as she gets in, there's like a huge owl, like not a real owl, but like a portrait of an owl like standing in the living room. And she's like, wow. And then she really likes the house. The house is like perfect and all this. And then she sends a letter after the person saying that we're really interested in this house. And then the person sends her back a letter, a thank you note, and then the card has an owl on it. And then for her, it's meaning because she's asking for that sign and she received it. Yeah, I was like, yo, I want to do the same thing. I want to like, I just want to know if I'm doing the right thing right now. And that's all I asked for. I was like, if I'm doing the right thing right now, I just want to see elephants. I just want to see an elephant. And that's it. I kind of just left it there, and I didn't think about it more than that. But I was like, I just want to see an elephant, and I trust that if I need to see an elephant, my focus is gonna go to an elephant. That's it. And then all of a sudden my mom comes into the room and she's like, "Do you want to do grocery with me?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then we do grocery. She's like, "Go get the eggs." And then I go to the egg section, and then there's a bunch of eggs, and on top of the eggs that were on sale, there's like an elephant on it, and that catch my attention because it's like eggs. Why the fuck is there an elephant on eggs? Why is there an elephant on eggs? It was really strange. And then as soon as I was home, I was sitting down and I was like scrolling to my phone, and I kept on seeing pictures of people like posting with elephants or like drawings of elephants, and I was like, wow. And then all of a sudden my sister was sitting next to me and she's like, "Yo, I really want to go to a place where there's elephants." And I'm like, and I started telling her the story, and she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And as soon as she scrolled down my phone, there was another picture of an elephant, and I was like, "Yo." And then she's like, "Yeah, I want to do it too." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Pretty interesting.
But yeah. But then you have to pay attention to the small things. You just have to be present in the moment to see it.
You have
That's
to be
it.
present. Okay.
Because I mean, I could have seen that elephant and just be listening to music or talking to my mom and just ignored it,
Wouldn't
right?
mean anything.
But most of the time, when you ask for it and you're really open to it, your focus just goes to it. It's like, even if you're really desperate, as soon as you give up, you'll get the sign, most probably. If you're really desperate about it, and then you keep on thinking you want a sign, chances are you will not get that sign, or like you'll get it in a way that you wouldn't understand because you're so focused in one way, you know? So that's it. It just happens, and now you're up to interpretation to how you want it to be. If you're a bad person, you can interpret it in a bad way. If you're a good person, you can interpret it in a good way. It's neither good or bad.
It's
It's
just
just something that happens
Okay.
that you could use to guide you towards something you want, or you could just ignore and it wouldn't change anything in your life. It's just there. It's either you decide to pay attention to it or you don't. It doesn't change your life much, but it's there. Okay, all I'm trying to do is like spread the seeds of awareness. So just you can take anything from this video and do more research about it. Just like so you can have, oh, I didn't think about this before. Let me look at more. You know, like just like create a spark of like curiosity in someone's mind. Do your research. That's about it. Okay.